Back again with another review, and today we're going to talk about and review Sabotage, or as I would like to call it, Suck-otage, because to me this movie sucked. Which stars Arnold Schwarzenegger and directed by David Ayer. Now, David Ayer, as a director, he's very hit or miss. I mean, I'll give him credit for Street Kings, which to me is a good Keanu Reeves movie. End of Watch, which he also directed, I liked. I've heard good things about Fury. I've heard good things about Bright. But I did not care for Suicide Squad. So again, he's very hit or miss. And this film here, I felt at the end of the day, it was just a very meaningless, aimless, mediocre training day wannabe. This film here is a try-hard training day. Like, if you're going to make this type of movie with Arnold, where basically the plot here in this film, you have Arnold, he's the captain of this DA team, they're very close-knit, and sometimes they cross the line of their way of procedure. One day they invade or raid this safe house of a drug cartel, and the money, they basically take the money, they hide it in the plumbing, and then later on when they go back to try and retrieve it, it's missing. And soon enough, they're being investigated for the missing money. Each member of the team is being investigated. But a couple of months pass, and the investigation is lifted. And, they kind of get back to what they were doing before, cracking down on these cartels and what have you. But soon enough, Arnold's team is getting picked off one by one. And so this one detective lady is trying to, figure out and ask, the team questions, investigating each person. But again, they're getting picked off one by one. So they're trying to figure out who's doing it, who's responsible, who took the money. And that's kind of the plot here in a nutshell. But again, this film, watching it, I'm like, this film is a very try-hard training day. It tries so hard to be that. And like, okay, if you're going to put Arnold in this type of movie, at least to go all the way with it. Because the thing about these characters is that you don't really care much about them. Because in the first 5-10 minutes of the film, these characters, they're dropping dialogue like, who dropped ass? I'm like, why is there dialogue like this? And I believe it was written by David Ayer as well. And I'm like, why am I hearing dialogue, like who dropped ass? To me, this movie dropped ass. The script dropped ass. And again, they're not necessarily good people. Like the people in this group of, this team, Arnold's character, from Arnold's character to these other people in the team, you can't really root for them because, again, they're not really trustworthy, good people. They're very close-knit. Every piece of dialogue is F this, F that, F you. Like Rob Zombie wrote the script here. Or whatever. But like I said, if you're going to do this, at least go all out with it where you can have, okay, for example, have Arnold be the one guy that is responsible. Now in the film, they kind of have the subplot where, Arnold's wife and son was killed. And at the end of the film, he takes care of the people that were responsible. He gets revenge. But why not just have Arnold be the villain here? And just be the person that, I think it would be different. I thought, but at the same time, like I said, it goes back to David Ayer. This is a guy who's very hit or miss when it comes to his movies. If you're going to do this type of film, then why not get an Anton Fuqua? The guy that directed Training Day and Shooter. a guy, a very capable director, not David Ayer, get Anton Fuqua, to direct this movie. I think you can make it better. I think if you had, again, Arnold as the main villain, have him be the one that, took the money. Have him be the one that, is picking off his team one by one. If you're gonna go in that direction of where these characters are not necessarily good people, and the way they're presented, the way they are written is very shady like, because again, the characters in this film, uh, they're close knit, but at the same time, they're very full of themselves. Like they feel like they're untouchable. And that's the thing that I really don't like about this film is that I don't care about these characters because they seem full, they seem, so much full of themselves and like, they're untouchable, that they're this big deal, that they're this kick-ass team that just likes to take out, the bad. I might just go all the way, just go all for it, and have Arnold be the villain. And people might say, well, wouldn't that be predictable or what have you? But, it would be different because you would have Arnold be this dirty DA agent, where you can, which, this film is R-rated, is already rated R. But here, I'm just giving out better ideas. Like I'm giving out these ideas I think will make a better film if you have a better director. But at the end of the day, what this film is pointless. This film, at the end of the day, is very meaningless. And, considering, I mean, I like The Last Stand. You go from that, which I enjoyed Arnold in that film, to this film where Arnold's, even from Jump Street, his haircut. Why did they make his hair like that? Which apparently Arnold wasn't even too crazy about his haircut in the film. Why did you cut his hair that way? Why does Arnold look like this in this movie? I mean, what kind of haircut is that? Even performance-wise, Arnold is off here. Like it's not genuine. And again, if you're going to have Arnold play this type of character where he's kind of shady, he's not totally honest, then just go all the way with it. Have him play the main antagonist. Where he's the one that's greedy. He's the one that wants all the money. He's the one that's picking off his team one by one. At least it would be different. At least I would go for something like that. Because Arnold, aside from the first Terminator film, when has he ever played, well, Batman and Robin, but, a character like that, a character like this character where, again, he's very shady character. Again, you could just go in that direction. But, again, even Arnold's performance here is very off. I mean, yes, there are some recognizable actors in here that are on his team, like Sam Worthington, Terrence Howard, Joe Manganiello, Josh Holloway. So I recognize a few people here in this cast. But again, they're characters I didn't really care much about. Dropping dialogue like, who dropped ass? I'm like, this movie dropped ass. Why am I hearing dialogue like this? This is not funny. It's not clever. I don't know what David Ayer was going for. And written by Skip Woods. So, Skip Woods and David Ayer. Yeah, Skip Woods, the guy that also worked on the Hitman film and X-Men Origins, Wolverine, A Good Day to Die Hard. I hate Skip Woods. I think he's a terrible writer. But, action-wise, I mean, you get some good practical shootouts here in the film. I will say that. I mean, there's some decent bits of, shootouts and stuff and, some practical blood. I mean, you got this one little shootout at this cabin. Um, you got the one scene where, Arnold and this detective woman is pursuing this one girl, because you find out in the end it was the girl on the team and Terrence Howard. And they're taking off in this car, and Arnold and the detective is going after them. I like that little bit. But, you know, and like I said, by the end, Arnold gets his revenge on the people that, killed his wife and son. But at the end of the day, this movie accomplished nothing. It's a dud. And the comeback of Arnold. Again, it meant nothing. It was very meaningless, very pointless movie. And again, it tries hard to be Training Day, and it fails. I'm like, okay, if you're gonna go, you know, if you're gonna have Arnold be this character where you're not sure about his character, then just go all out for it. Go all out, and make him the main antagonist. You know, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that would save the movie, but at least it would be different, and get a better director, and not have Arnold's hair look like that. Because I don't know what the deal with that was. Again, why does Arnold's, which again, like I said, Arnold, he mentioned, like if you read I read in the trivia that Arnold wasn't too crazy about his haircut in the film. And I agree. Why did they do that? It just looks so stupid and goofy. So anyways, I'll just end it here. I don't want to go on too long about this movie. But that's Sabotage, Suck-otage. Yeah, this movie sucked. But that's my review of that. Thank you for watching. And yeah, up next is Maggie, which is another winner. But yeah, thank you for watching, and have a good day.